Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Well, in the previous video I showed you a very easy and simple workflow. I thought today I'd introduce you to a more advanced form of presentation, commonly referred to as immersive scenes. You may have seen the terms immersive and scene thrown around in the community, so I first would like to explain my take on both, and then show you step by step how wonderfully the two can go hand in hand. In my book, immersive is any photo that is taken to show you the action from the perspective of the action. Think of it as looking into the build rather than at it. The term scene commonly means a photo, oftentimes but not always an immersive angle, with an emphasis on cinematic lighting and composition. If you're in my Discord server, you might have followed the build process of this mock. That'll be our example today. I'll put a link in the description if you want to hop on and have a chat. Now let's take it to the next level. I want two things for this picture. I want it to be a nighttime scene, and I want rain in it, which we'll do practically. In other words, I'm going to use real water spray to get the effect live in front of the camera. Now those two factors, nighttime and rain, dictate how I have to light the shot. For the rain to look right, I know from experience that I have to use a shutter speed of 1/80th of a second. In low light, that inherently means we need to add a fair amount of light to get a good exposure, and the rain will only show around bright light sources. If you want rain visible in your whole picture, you need a bright background like in this shot. For an authentic scene, your lighting must be motivated. In other words, only put light where there would realistically be light. I use my laptop screen as a background here as a start, and that'll simulate reflections and variations of light on the floors and walls of the build that would come from the surrounding city. Next, I set up an LED panel pointing upward away from the build, because I don't want any direct light on the scene, as that'll cause noticeable highlights and shadows that look bad in a nighttime scene. I also added a white surface above the whole setup to evenly reflect lights from the LED panel down on the build, so it looks like soft ambient light or moonlight. And you might have guessed it already, I built some tiny LEDs from Light My Bricks into the mock as well. And I put those in places where you'd find artificial light, such as in the street lights and inside buildings. And behind the tall windows on the left and in the booth on the right, I added phones with the flash on with the same intention. And last but not least, there is a USB light plugged into the laptop in the back that illuminates the garage area down in the back a little more, as well as the red window in the middle. Now let me introduce you to my rain machine. I like to use an empty nasal spray bottle refilled with just tap water, but anything with a pulverizing nozzle should be fine. All it needs to do is create fine spray so the droplets scale well with the small nature of minifigs. And with that, we are ready to take some photos. I shoot with a 2-second timer here and spray up to 3 times as soon as the timer starts. And since the spray mechanism only works pointing up, it's important to spray before the shutter clicks so the drops fall down when the photo is taken. Because every spray is different, you see me take multiple photos here to get different patterns and intensities of rain. If you have a wooden table, I would also advise putting a towel around your build so you don't cause water stains. And there we are. This is my personal favorite of the shots we just took, straight out of camera, nothing edited. Let me know what you think about that shot in the comments below. I hope this video was useful. If you learned something new from it, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, write a comment or ask in the Discord server. And if you know someone that could use these tips, share the video around. And until next time, keep bricking.